You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now. 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
My name is Jessie, and I'm proud of the life I have, surrounded by military and aware just how big the world really is. I have a unique perspective on life and the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. Alright, how y'all doing out there tonight? Yes, it's Jessie. Yes, I miss you when we're not talking. Alright, before we get started, I gotta confess something. Last night wasn't really a Mr. Frog night. It was just the easy way to explain to you guys that I had a migraine. I had a really bad migraine. And it was caused at my day job. So, I couldn't stand the physical pressure of the headset that I wear when I'm talking to you guys. So you got to hear Mike Velarde essentially 2 nights in a row on POV, but it was such an outstanding episode. It was well worth it. And yes, at this moment, I have to say, if I have to pick one episode to say, no, you have to listen to this. There's some Justin Kinney ones I think you should listen to. But this one with Mike Velarde, as far as recent, get over there. And you can find it on many popular podcast locations. And just to name a few, we are talking iHeart, iTunes, Spreaker, Podcast.com, Blueberry, Pocket Casts, and many other outstanding locations. Alright, folks. I am happy to be back with you guys. But I gotta admit, I'm behind the 8 ball tonight. I got some show prep. It's all over the board. You think the title says chaos? I'm going to warn you right up front, if you're looking for an organized show tonight, I'm not so sure that you're going to get one. We've got North Korean cheerleaders traveling to South Korea ahead of the Olympics. We have North Korea using a quote-unquote exclusive beer brewing technique. We have more on the Kurds. We have secret pacts between 2 governments. No surprise. We have Palestinian conflict issues. Somebody supposedly wants a parade. A military parade. Think Bastille Day, but it isn't the French who want the parade. They already have one. I've got quite the conglomerate of news articles. I mean, I really do. I'm not even entirely sure where to start with some of the stuff I have. Because when I say grab bag, yeah. It's a grab bag. I don't know how else to define this one. And I will have some more stories about the upcoming games. Just because, well, they're quite interesting. So, it's one of those things. So, let's start with some of the North Korea stuff. Because we all know I can sit here and talk about North Korea all night if I put my mind to it. And I probably have some audio clips on North Korea. And don't even have to go looking too far. Now, I do want to remind you that President Moon's popularity has been dropping like a rock. And President Trump today met with some North Korean defectors. And maybe while I take the commercial break, I'll be able to pull. There was a couple of really moving moments. No, it wasn't just the one defector from the State of the Union. It was a group of 4 or 5. And they all had their own interesting stories, including, I like how the one woman phrased her reaction to Trump's speech in front of the South Korean parliament. I like that one. So I will see if I can get that audio pulled out for you during the commercial break. But what I did find interesting is that the president openly said that there were 2 more defectors that were waiting in another room because they didn't want to be in front of the media cameras. I might be able to find that because it was towards the very end. I will give that a quick shot, but I'm not going to take too many chances on it.
Congress, it was declassified. Congress will do.
Okay, that's garbage.
Thank you very much. This is unimaginable.
Okay, that's more gobbledygook.
What we do, and those are amazing stories, and I want to thank you all for being here. This is the Oval Office, very famous office. I guess most of you have heard about the Oval Office. A lot of things happen here. Hopefully they're all for the good, but a lot of things happen right in this space. So it's my honor to have you here. Thank you.
네, 대단히 감사합니다. 여러분
Nope, can't find it. I will look for that as well while we take the commercial break. But anyway, let's get back to the Winter Games. Yes, the Winter Games are a major source of contention and could be trickier than you think. Oh, yes. Well, first of all, I've got to say that North Korea has ramped up the propaganda machine. They've ramped it up. Top of the line, ramp up. No possibility of anything else. All right, so let's get to it. North Korea has asked South Korea to fuel the ship that carried the art troupe to the south a day earlier, as the ferry will be used for lodging the art troupe. They traveled to the south by ferry Tuesday to perform in a celebration of the Pyeongchang Winter Games. And it's a really rare thing to see a North Korean vessel in a South Korean port. Now, the North has asked the South to provide fuel for the ship. South Korea's going, we don't know about this, because the delivery of refined petroleum products to North Korea could be tricky. And because the UN Security Council in December adopted sanctions that included a cap on exports of such goods to the North to 500,000 barrels per year. Now, the Unification Ministry said that they are going to provide food and electricity. But then the statement was revised saying the North hasn't asked for anything specific yet. Now, it has been rumored that U.S. food ingredients are not to be included in meals in a bid to prevent possible violation of U.S. sanctions and ban the delivery of American goods and services to North Korea. Does this show you the level of politics and chaos and confusion? Okay, so we are talking about feeding the North Koreans who are at the Winter Games. And they can't use any U.S.-made ingredients, because that would go against one of the United States issues. The U.S. sanctions that bans the delivery of American goods and services to North Korea. Okay. Then you've got the ship that North Korea used to get down there that their athletes or whatever group is going to stay on, instead of staying in a hotel, probably so North Korea can keep tighter control of them. I'll be perfectly honest with you there. And they've said, hey, South Korea, can you give us some fuel for the ship to make sure we get home and make sure everything works properly while we're here in port? Nobody knows if they can do that yet. Does this go to show you how complicated just bringing in the North Korean delegation to the Olympic Games is? I mean, this is just beyond insanity. And I have a feeling we're going to read 20 more chaotic things about this. Now, there's been, North Korea does have a private university. Only one, and it's been learning to cope with the travel ban and sanctions imposed by the United States. But it could face an uncertain future if the restrictions continue. It is called Pyongyang University of Science and Technology. And the head of it has been unable to go to North Korea since the travel ban took effect in September. And the measure also affected more than half of the faculty and staff at the institution, which was jointly established by a South Korean foundation and North Korea's education ministry in 2010. When the ban was announced, there was trouble because we'd planned for the next 6 months, but suddenly no one could come in. To fill the gap, some of the school's graduates and graduates of its Chinese sister school came to help teach. Coming spring semester will be better because the university has learned from its experiences of the last semester and arranged to have about 70% of the necessary teaching staff. The school conducts all of its classes in English and has been hit by growing sanctions over North Korea's weapons and missile programs. The school isn't the target, but all the banks didn't want to cooperate with them, so they had to do other things. Sanctions have limited the supplies of food, fuel, electricity, but that's not news in North Korea. Now, of course, the travel ban was put in place after Otto Warmbier's death, the college student who was detained and flown home, and he died days after his return, and he was sent home in a coma. Exceptions to the U.S. travel ban to North Korea: professional journalists, Red Cross representatives, and others with a, quote, compelling humanitarian reason, or a travel request that is, quote, in the national interest. Now, I'm going to say that Dennis Rodman's trip to Pyongyang was, quote, in the national interest. Remember, he was over there when Otto Warmbier was released? I'm going to say it was considered in the national interest, and here's why. Even though the travel ban wasn't in place at the time that he would have been allowed to go, I am fully convinced the U.S. let him go, encouraged him to go, however unofficially they did it, so that there was a big distraction in Pyongyang. There's the basketball player! Yay! Everybody looked that way. Meanwhile, out the back door goes Otto Warmbier. That's why I think Rodman was there at that time. I think it was fully an orchestrated thing. That way the media attention, because that country is actually very closely watched. More closely than you might realize. And if there was one freaky thing going on, people will be looking that way. But if you've got this major PR coup of Dennis Rodman in town, and now you're trying to quietly sneak a medjet out the back door, you might be able to get away with it because everybody's looking that way. All right, folks. So like I said, there are some things that are going to be going on that are unintended consequences. And like I said, even the Winter Games are just, despite the fact that, there's going to be North Koreans in Seoul, they can't even be fed an American food product because it could be a possible violation of U.S. sanctions that ban the delivery of American goods and services to North Korea. And you wonder why I said this Winter Games is going to be a series of chaos? Between North Korea asking South Korea for a refined petroleum product and to feed their delegation while they're in the South. Already, we've run into 3 different levels of sanctions that could impact any and or all of this. So, if that isn't enough chaos with one winter game, I don't know what is. Alright, folks, I know I got started just a couple minutes late, but it is time to pay those radio station bills, and I will look for those audio clips and see you on the other side.
They fight and die for our freedom. No one had to ask them to go without a moment's hesitation. For the red, white, and blue.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, Internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Hidden Traps is now available in paperback and ebook from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Attention business owners and independent contractors. This is a money-saving message from Tax Mediation Services. If your business owes $20,000 or more in taxes, we can help you today, right now. Listen, dealing with the IRS is no picnic. It's an intimidating and extremely stressful process, and you don't want to go it alone. Our attorneys know every law, every tax break, and every possible opportunity to help you resolve and reduce your tax debt. And if you owe more than $20,000, you may be at the top of their hit list. So don't take your tax debt lightly, because it will not go away on its own. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, your home, and even shut down your business. Call our tax experts today at 1-800-783-0810 and let us deal with the IRS while you focus on your business. That's 1-800-783-0810. Again, that's 800-783-0810.
My son was in the Army back during Desert Storm, but even then he wanted an MBA. He looked at a dozen schools, but only one offered the online education and flexibility he needed while he was in a tent in Iraq. Grantham University. Turns out that Grantham's been delivering affordable, relevant college and advanced degrees for over 65 years. Heck, if they can deliver a quality education to a soldier in a tent overseas, think about the flexibility Grantham can offer you so you can earn your degree too. It doesn't matter how complicated or full your life is. If getting a degree is on your bucket list, you'll want to do what my son did. You'll want to call Grantham. Find out how easy it is to get started on your education so you can check that college degree off your bucket list. Call Grantham right now, 800-910-1370. That's 800-910-1370. Flexible, affordable, relevant. Call 800-910-1370.
Sometimes riders feel lost, unsure why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing into full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, offering manuscript critiques and line edits through a mentoring editorial style. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services, visit blackwolfeditorial.com.
Well, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of hell, but I won't back down.
All right, thank you for hanging in there with me while we paid those radio station bills. And yes, I am happy to be back with you. Now, as a reminder, there's two ways you can interact with me while I am live on air, and two ways you can interact with. The best way to interact with me while I'm live on air is to get on over to KLRNRadio.com and catch me in the chat room. Now, for those of you who listen via podcast, and I love my podcast listeners too, you can email me at the station at jessiespov@klrnradio.com, or you can tag me in a tweet, and that's at Radio Host Jessie. Now, we were discussing North Korea when we left. I have one audio clip I was able to find in that time. Only one that I will play for you. Assuming I can track it down real quick. Oh, I'm not finding it. I have misplaced it. But, alright, I'm going to have to go through this audio of the president meeting with the defectors. I think I have it queued up. We'll take a shot.
Yes, when I was escaping North Korea, I was never exposed and never experienced outside world, so I was very nervous because North Korea regime and North Korea is all I knew. So I think we were very much brainwashed. And so when I came to South Korea, I could never imagine there was a life like this that I could live outside North Korea.
And obviously there were translators involved in a lot of the conversation. I was looking for a particular comment.
So I am heading an organization in South Korea called No Chain. And what we do is trying to stop abuse to North Korean political prisoners in North Korea, and we also focus on sending more information to North Korean residents so they are aware of what's happening outside North Korea and inside.
And that is vital. What you don't understand is so much the North Korea tries to control everything.
저는 김용순이라고 하고
saw the President Trump's speech made at the Korean National Assembly, was very moved and very impressed by the speech, and they were able to get confidence and support.
All right, let's back that up a little bit.
그 영상을 본 북한 주민들은
Okay, nope. I'm not finding the audio clip I was specifically looking for, but those are a few of the excerpts. And these are defectors speaking in their own words. Now, there were 2 additional defectors at the White House who had asked politely not to be included in the media part of the event because they feared execution. They feared that North Korea would try and execute them. So the White House thankfully respected their wishes, did not force them, and let them stay off camera. Their names were not released. Nothing was said about them other than they were in another room at that point in time. Now, I will, like I said, work through that audio. I want to know where the feminists are. Oh, yeah. I want to know. Because Nikki Haley Yes, Nikki Haley was told to shut up. Now, she wasn't told this by the U.S. She was told this by a senior Palestinian negotiator of the PLO Executive Committee, and in an interview. And Erekat says the U.S. is trying to push for a Palestinian coup. And he is absolutely railing against the Trump administration. Now, Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas says Palestinians are not looking for a confrontation, but Erekat of the PLO is saying other things. So it's one of those tricky things. And he was reacting to what Nikki Haley said at the UN Security Council on January 25th. I will take a quick peek in my audio archives and see if I have anything from that. But he basically told Nikki Haley to take a long walk off a short plank and told her to zip it. Now, I don't have anything from that specific date in my library. So I will have to go back and look at that. I will definitely have to investigate it, but it says her opening statement, I will read it to you. During the past year as the representative of the United States, I have most often taken the position that this monthly session on the Middle East is miscast. As I've pointed out many times, this session spends far too much time on Israel and the Palestinians, and far too much time on the terrorist regimes and groups that undermine peace and security in the region. Chief among them, Iran, ISIS or Daesh, Hezbollah, and Hamas. So that was her opening couple of sentences. I will, like I said, look for the audio on that because I know where to find it and see what I can bring to you. Because, you know, a woman is being told to shut up. And Nikki Haley has also slammed Russia over the chemical weapons use in Syria. So let's talk about that because, all right, we have discussed the chlorine gas attacks in Syria on multiple occasions. Multiple occasions. I repeat. And I've got a few sound bites from the Security Council meeting that took place on this issue, including one where Nikki Haley flat out tells Russia they knew or had a hand in it. All right, let's take a listen.
And we know that for years, Russia has looked the other way while their Syrian friends use these despicable weapons of war. Russia is complicit in the Assad regime's atrocities. Will the Russian Federation say anything at all today about the suffering caused by Assad's barbaric tactics?
And of course they didn't.
Unfortunately, the gym, which has ceased to exist, has caused the investigation to collapse. The investigation failed. The investigation, which from the scientific technical point of view was a complete failure, and it became a mechanism for political manipulation.
Now that was part of the Russian response. And I believe I have one more audio clip on this.
When Russia doesn't like the facts, they try and distract the conversation. That's because the facts come back over and over again to the truth Russia wants to hide, that the Assad regime continues to use chemical weapons against its own people.
All right. I don't know how much clearer you can state those facts, but I will say that it was a very interesting take on things. Now, I think I have a brief snippet of Rex Tillerson here. So give me just 1 second and we will see if we can get that pulled up for you.
The Chemical Weapons Convention and its vision of a world free of these heinous weapons. We will use this partnership to facilitate greater information sharing about chemical weapons use, including sanctions information, to collect and preserve such information, and to strengthen the capacity of states to hold responsible parties accountable. This initiative puts those who ordered and carried out chemical weapons attacks on notice. You will face a day of reckoning for your crimes against humanity, and your victims will see justice done. We call on the community of responsible and civilized nations to put the use of chemical weapons to an end. The choice is yours. The people of East Ghouta are watching, and the rest of the world is watching as well.
And that was Rex Tillerson at a recent speaking engagement about chemical weapons. And we have seen a lot of things on Syria recently. Between state and all kinds of other things, there's been a lot of interesting comments on Syria. Let me see if I've got one more audio clip that's relevant here.
Unfortunately, the gym, which has ceased to...
Nope, already played that one. Sorry. The gym was the Joint Investigative Mechanism, and I will have to... I'm sure I still have that audio. If not, I can grab it. I know where to get it. But there was a lot of things that were said in that council meeting that was absolutely intriguing. Now, that brings us to one other topic I want to touch on. Kabul. The war in Afghanistan. It has been going on for 16 years. Rush hour at Kabul International Airport, a swarm of helicopters. Yep. Because they don't want the ambassadors driving on the road. And they're worried about it. Now, this is the capital of Afghanistan. And this says that there is a lot of unresolved issues in this area. Now, the president of Afghanistan has said that, despite the fact that his soldiers and policemen are dying in unprecedented numbers, they want to secure their country. Now, we do bankroll a large part of the Afghan defense budget, but I have to say, would you rather fight them over there or fight them over here? And I would rather definitely fight them over there. All right, folks, we are almost out of time. And I am aware I didn't really do a good guys with guns last week. And I do apologize for that. Because, well, it was one of those not much I could do about it. And with 2 guests on 2 nights in a row. But we did have a stupid guys with stupid gun segment. We're going to wrap up with a couple of other quick notes. Israelis and Egypt working together. And now you are looking at me like I have lost my mind. No, it is true. Israel and Egypt do have a pact to take out Daesh. Yes, you heard me, ISIS. Unmarked Israeli warplanes and helicopters have carried out dozens of covert attacks against Daesh and other terrorist groups inside the Egyptian Sinai. And these airstrikes are conducted with the support of President el-Sisi. Yes, Egypt and Israel have been quietly working together. And this just goes to show how the rise of Daesh and other jihad groups have formed very quiet partnerships that you wouldn't normally expect. This is actually a very huge deal. I can't stress enough. The public perception versus the private work they do are on two different tracks and two different trains in two different opposite directions. However, I'm going to say, Egypt, good job for saying we're going to work with whoever we have to work with. Now, it is supposedly one of the least well-kept secrets in the Middle East, but it's unlikely to have real serious repercussions among ordinary Egyptians, because ordinary Egyptians see the atrocities committed by Daesh, and basically they're probably going to say, I don't care who you are if you're taking them out. That's a good deal. Now, the Israeli aircraft are unmarked and they fly circuitous routes so it doesn't appear as if they're flying from Israel. I mean, this is how serious this is. Now, Hamas has tightened its border with Sinai, and that's amid concerns that Gaza could be next as a staging ground. Daesh has lost 95, 98% of its land. And we don't want to see them reconstitute on the edge of Israel. All right, folks. I thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. And Jen and Rick is hot on my heels. So, remember, you can email me at the station at Jessie's POV. You can tag me in a tweet. And I will see you next time.